And in this live shot we're seeing much of the Korean Army's military equipment all in line, from K2 tanks to K21 infantry fighting vehicles. And anything you want to spot on, Professor?
Oh yeah, K9
self-propelled
is especially
artillery.
important artillery system, and it's very successful in the overseas area as an acquisition export. Also, the highlight thing is triad system, as you mentioned earlier. As you mentioned earlier, Hyunmoo 3 and Hyunmoo 2, and Pak2 and Cheonggung, and kind of weapon system. This is based on the tailored deterrence strategy between the ROK and US. And triad system is included the kill chain system and KAMD, Korea Air and Missile Defense System, and KMPR. This is similar to Eisenhower doctrine during the 1960s, Korean massive punishment and retaliation. At the time, Eisenhower emphasized on any kind of Soviet Union's nuclear attack or ground forces attack in Europe area. He promised mass retaliation. So this is a very strong deterrence effect on the Soviet Union.
And we might be seeing more of the American strategic military weapons being stationed in and around the peninsula, as the presidential office of Cheong Wa has confirmed that South Korea and the U.S. says that it's going to deploy more of its military assets on the Korean peninsula as well as around the region. So we might see more of these equipments going down the list starting next year.
Yeah, sure. So this is also important event for showing up the ROK-US alliances against North Korea provocation, including Jeremy Brooks today. So this kind of things support Moon Jae-in's promise to emphasize ROK-US alliances.
Strengthening the bilateral alliances.
Yeah, absolutely. And both countries last night, according to Chief of National Security Office Jung Woo-young, said both countries agreed kind of strategic military assets, including maybe B-2 or B-10 bomber kind of thing.
Submarines as well, nuclear submarines.
Yeah, to rotational deployment in the Korean Peninsula until later of this year. And both countries agreed last October 2016, Extended Deterrence Strategy and Consultation Group, EDSCG, during the SCM meeting in Washington, D.C. So this kind of strong message. So for this event, Moon Jae maybe avoid the kind of message to humanitarian things, and because for this event, this is an event for the strong defense capability against North Korean provocation. So President have a diverse event, including May 18 ceremony some months ago. At the time, he became kind of human rights lawyer, has a warm-hearted. And today's event is he have to show.
And that's when he also approached some of the peaceful way of resolving the North Korean issue.
He has final strategic objective is a peaceful Korean peninsula by peaceful means, including negotiation between the two, including possibly U.S. and Japan.
And we've just seen a demonstration of the special forces showing how to suppress an enemy in case, while facing them with not much of an equipment or
in the war event, the special forces have to go in the back area of the conflict zone, not just front area, for their missions, assassination or destroying key posts, including plant or Pyongyang key post, including Chuseokgung or that kind of place. So they have to have a strong physical, individual capability.
남녀 특전 용사들이 대리석과 기와를 격파하겠습니다.
And the special forces demonstrating yet another strength of smashing some of the, are those rocks laid in front of them?
Including female?
Their strength, yes, both male and female on display.
특전 용사가 공중으로 도약해 대리석을 격파하겠습니다.
특전 용사들이 평소 모세처럼 달려있는
Journalists in Western cultures always have a kind of joke on when they watch the South Korean Special Forces kind of event or North Korean thing. But it was very special, yeah.
And it's not something that you would see elsewhere, but in Korea.
Yeah, it was very. Even when you deploy our peacekeeping forces in Africa or East Timor kind of thing, they have that kind of performance, not the same capability, but our peacekeeping forces
Similar
from
to those
the ROC Army, show the kind of taekwondo or performance things to the local area citizens.
자랑스러운 특전 용사들에게 다시 한번 뜨거운 박수 부탁드립니다.
And I think with that wraps up today's Armed Forces Day ceremony. If you were to put it in one line, what would you say about today's ceremony under the new Liberal president?
I think it's a very successful event, especially in showing up our defense capability based on the trial system, including the kill chain, KAMD, and PR. Also very important event in the Moon Jae-in administration's message to the international community that we have our own defense capability against the North Korean provocation while they pursue the peaceful solution, including negotiation.
Right, and not to mention that the Liberal president's influence of him serving for the Special Force, taking upon today's ceremony with a lot of the demonstrations from the Air Force unit and with the Special Forces presenting with some martial arts.
Yeah, also, Special Forces martial art and air power of the ROC Army. And ROC U.S. alliances as well, one of the parachuting exercises conducted by ROC U.S. soldiers.
And as we know, the F-15K is the fighter jet that flew over the Korean Peninsula alongside the U.S. B-1 bombers in the international waters this past weekend. That's the time when the flyover operation was taking place at the farthest point north of the demilitarized zone for the first time in centuries.
Air power matter because especially during the Korean War, North Korean people always loved the air war, always dominated by the U.S. Air Forces, and because they have now a strong air defense capability or bunker. Because of that experience. So today, one of the major concerns of that North Korea has is air power, especially by the ROC and U.S. forces. So.
The F-15Ks leading the formation, entering the ceremonial place.
대응 시간과 우수한 저고도 기동 성능을 바탕으로 한반도 영공방위의 최일선에서 활약하고 있는 F-5 제공호 편대가 진입하고 있습니다.
And these are, as you mentioned, the F-5 fighter jets capable of defeating the enemy by being one of the first ones to arrive at the site. So that means that they're really fast when it comes to speed.
Yeah.
이어서 FA-50 편대가 진입하고 있습니다.
And following is the FA-50 fighter jet, which we'll show. And that is a domestic fighter made with Korea's technology, and it's the jet that's capable of sharing information at wartime and identifies allies and its enemies.
The ROC Air Forces have a kind of air show in the UK or in international event as well, so it is very famous in that area. So.
내외 기빈 여러분, 전투기 기동의 마지막으로 F-15K 전투기 세대가 대한민국의 번영과
So air and navy powers means projection of power, not just inside the peninsula against North Korea, but outside the peninsula.
So in the international waters as well.
Yeah, right. International water as a middle power that is pursued.
And wrapping up the Air Force flybys, the
지금 보시는 F-15K
F-15Ks.
현대 전투 기동은 한반도의 안녕과 평화의 수호자, 대한민국을 지키는 가장 높은 힘, 공군을 상징하고 있습니다.
North Korea has massive ground forces, including very old types of tanks and field artillery. So air power have to deter their provocation, especially in the war event. So
And in recent days, we've been seeing a lot of flyovers, both from the U.S. mainland Guam and from Japan, alongside with Korea's own fighter jets flying over the waters near North Korean border and its waters as well as the South Korean.
공군의 자랑,
Yes.
세계 최고 수준인
psychological
블랙이그스
effect also.
팀의
Yeah,
멋진
some people say
특수 비행이
psychological war,
펼쳐지겠습니다.
matter guardian or not. So
여러분 왼쪽에서부터 블랙이글스의 다이아몬드 대형입니다.
Showing off its diamond formation with 8 black eagles.
계속해서 블랙이글스는 고난도의 연속적인 대형 변경을
not every country
실시하겠습니다.
has kind of air power
지금 보시는
show.
대형은 세계로
Only
도약하고자 하는
maybe
대한민국의
20
기계를
or 30
상징하는
countries
알바트로스
only
대형입니다.
can have this kind of air power. So we have to be proud of it. Even North Korea has airplane, but very old and
그리고
they don't
남은
have
이글
gas
대형으로
to
영공방의
support.
천병
So
전투기를 형상화한 블랙이글스의 대표
And
대형입니다.
the different formations they're forming up there seems to be the state of the art when it comes to differing their formations while flying in the air.
지금 블랙이글스가 선보이고 있는 8대의 유기적인 대형 변경은 고도의 협동심과 상호 간의 긴밀한 신뢰가 필수적으로 요구되는 기동이며 다른 국가에서도 쉽게 따라할 수 없어 찬사를 받고 있는 블랙이글스만의 경쟁력입니다.
Modern North Korean history teaches they really want to have a kind of modern air forces because from 1948 and to 1950, North Korean government published a kind of journal of the 인민항공, people's airplane. They really want to have a kind of Soviet Union style airplane system because it's kind of a special message that they became modernization of society.
So with today's event mainly putting a great emphasis on its air forces, could give another signal to North Korea that the country's air forces system is stronger than ever when it comes to carrying its own
Absolutely, in terms of
capability.
defense cover or the trial system, also making a plane is not an easy thing. It's not a simple process. This is a kind of masterpiece of science and technology. Only few countries can make their own airplane. Maybe the United Kingdom and the USA and Soviet Union. Very few countries only can make, just like car. Not many countries can make their own cars. So this is kind of
Because it requires skill, the
yeah.
details, and professionalism.
Yeah. Also, absolutely, as well as the military capability to support trial system against the North Korean nuclear threat.
I mean, we're seeing rows of different warplanes and air jets flying in, but we should also brush upon the fact that this day also celebrates the country's establishing of all three elements of military. That's the Army, Navy, and the Air Force.
Maybe we can have someday president who serve in Navy or Air Force. So far, we only have the Army guys and the Blue House. John F. Kennedy and George W. Bush was air pilot. So USS kind of president.
The commander-in-chief's position, I mean, his past service to the country in the military, I guess plays a key part also when it comes to him running his own military and
Absolutely.
forces.
Without military
It does
experience,
give
that
it
would be very
influence as
difficult,
well.
just like Donald Trump. Or, okay, Bill Clinton and Obama did not have military experience, but the U.S. system is different. They have many
4 days prior to its actual October 1st, given that it falls in the middle of Chuseok holiday.
For showing up the ROK U.S. alliances against North Korea provocation, including Jeremy Brooks today. So this kind of things support Moon Jae-in's promise to emphasize ROK U.S. alliances.
Strengthening the bilateral alliances.
Yeah, absolutely. And both countries last night, according to chief of the triad system, as you mentioned earlier, as you mentioned earlier, Hyunmoo 3 and Hyunmoo 2 and PAC-2 and Cheonggung and kind of weapon system. This is based on the tailored deterrence strategy between the ROK and US. And triad system is included the kill chain system and KAMD, Korea Air and Missile Defense System, and KMPR. This is similar to Eisenhower doctrine during the 1960s, Korean massive punishment and retaliation. At the time, Eisenhower emphasized on any kind of Soviet Union's nuclear attack or ground forces attack in Europe area. He promised mass retaliation. So this is a very strong deterrence effect on the Soviet Union.
And we might be seeing more of the American strategic military weapons being stationed in and around the peninsula, as the presidential office of Cheong Wa-dae has confirmed that South Korea and the U.S. says that it's going to deploy more of its military assets on the Korean peninsula as well as around the region. So we might see more of these equipments going down the list starting next year.
Yeah, sure. So this is also important event.
And in this live shot we're seeing much of the Korean Army's military equipment all in line, from K-2 tanks to K-21 infantry fighting vehicles. And anything you want to spot on, Professor?
Oh yeah, K9
Self-propelled
is especially
artillery.
important artillery system, and it's very successful in the overseas area as an acquisition export. Also, the highlight thing is